Oi. All right. There you go, girl. Take it away. This is your pod.
Ukrainian live podcast.
Ukraiński, Britanski.
Yeah. So we decided to make a podcast with Brew. Obviously, no one invited Brew, but she arrived herself.
She invited herself.
So Kieren went to Ukraine 4 times and experienced Ukrainian food, not only traditional food, but any food we eat in Ukraine. And he can tell about it from his perspective to compare Ukrainian and British sort of food that are in restaurants, coffee shops and everything. And I'll tell my experience.
But basically, I went to Ukraine. It was fun. It was amazing. And when it comes to like food, it was like, I think, I have a bit of a bias because Vlada has a good taste in food and she knows where to go. And she's a massive hipster.
No way. Same. You can say I'm hipster.
Vlad, you know you're hipster.
No.
Duże hipsty. And so she would show me all the really good places. So maybe there's a bit of a bias that we didn't go to any shitholes. And I've tried to avoid taking you to shitholes in Britain. But anyway, my impression of Ukrainian food is nearly every single restaurant we go to, went to cafés as well. They're always like insanely high quality to the point that every detail is they care about. I was going to say about the customer service, but I'm sure you want to talk about that in a bit. Mm-hmm. Talk about it now?
Oh, you can say.
Yeah, like the thing, and it seems ridiculous that this is the thing that jumps into my mind the quickest. But when you go to a toilet in Ukraine, you walk into the restaurant and you go to the toilet, and the toilet, you almost want to spend time in the toilet. It's so nice. Like, it's always clean. It's got a good smell. The soaps are nice. I feel like I'm in a spa.
Why you had your poo for 30 minutes? I just enjoy my toilet.
I was having a good time in the toilet. And so you go to those toilets, but compared to England, which we'll get into, but like, I mean, if the toilet has enough toilet paper, you're in luxury here. Yeah. So I notice all that. Like, Ukrainian food places always care about every minuscule detail, and that's the toilets. It's also obviously the food and the coffee, and then it's also the service from the people. They're always very helpful. And you guys have this kind of like joke about napkins or something, where if you use a napkin for 1 second, put it down, look the other way, it's gone because the server's come over and taken it.
Yeah.
And like, to us in Britain, that's insane. Like, our people, you're lucky if they even pay attention that you've had your hand up in the air trying to get them to pay the bill for 20 minutes. So it's like, I know it's just on that level, the customer service is insane, and then that attitude sort of spreads into the food. So every place that we went to, all the food is always very like thought out, creative, high quality, and just like, they put a lot of love into it, and you can tell. Yeah.
I can explain why did it happen. So when I came to Britain and like I saw sticky tables and all other problems, I was quite shocked. Like, what the hell is going on? And I needed some time to understand what the hell was going on.
Explain how bad it is. It's not just sticky tables.
I cannot, because I will be absolutely hated. Okay. I had waves of hate from British people, and they all sent me on the front line.
Yeah, that's true.
So like, maybe you can
quickly
explain.
That you'll go to some places, not all. You'll go there, they won't answer. You'll be at the front door and you're waiting to be seated for 10 minutes, and then one of them will come over, grunt at you to come sit on a table. It's covered in like beers that haven't been taken away, napkins, sticky tables, not all the time. And they'll like, maybe they'll do a little clean in front of you, and then they'll sit you down. You're like, anyway, that's kind of what England was like, and Vlada was shocked.
So what the problem? The problem is not because, I don't know, English people, English service is so bad. The problem is that for ages we didn't have culture of restaurants and cafes in our country, because Ukraine, like a country, like de facto we think we exist forever, like a nation, but like a country on paper it exists only for 35 years. So all of the restaurants, and before it was like, I don't know, something very posh. Our parents can say, oh, you're going to a restaurant, are you a billionaire, what are you doing? Like, we didn't have any culture of going to a restaurant. All our events, they were happening at people's houses, so all relatives are together at someone everyone's home, and we just didn't have so many restaurants.
And probably when they did it at home, they were also putting lots of effort.
Yeah, lots of efforts. That's another topic. And basically, when I moved to Kiev, it happened 12 years ago. We had maybe in the center, couple of restaurants, and then they massively started to open every year new restaurants. So all of our restaurants are new, absolutely. So that's why they have these fancy cool toilets. We have maybe 5, okay, not 5, but a little amount of restaurants that are over 10 years restaurants. Most of them are pretty new also. We don't have this habit to go to a restaurant. Our older generation youngsters like me and you, we have this habit to go to restaurants and cafes because we operate with more money. That's another topic of conversation. And also we got this habit because we're traveling, we see the world, and for us it become much more casual to go to restaurants and cafes. And also because the market for restaurant customers is very, very small. So all our restaurants and cafe, they're fighting for customers. In England, they are packed with customers and it's a queue. Meanwhile, in Ukraine, only top restaurants are packed, and they're always fighting for new customers. I'm a marketer. When I moved to here, I have no job for myself like a marketer in restaurant sphere because they don't need me. They have customers. In Ukraine, that's a main job to employ. You employ a CEO, not a CEO of the restaurant, the director of the restaurant, and you employ the marketer because you need to fight for your customers. All of them have absolutely amazing Instagrams to attract more young people to come to them. So that's why they put so much efforts for customers to come, because we don't have enough of them.
Yeah, and that basically was that taught me because obviously on my channel I talk about social, political, economic stuff, and that taught me firsthand a concept. It's called an inelastic demand or inelastic supply or something like that. But basically
inelastic supply.
Yeah, innit? It's got a fancy.
Yeah,
it's inelastic demand, I think. But basically, the idea in this, I learned it in this situation, was so interesting to me because it talks about how economies and countries grow and how that affects the quality you get. So in Britain, we've had this long history of people making restaurants, and then eventually you get these big businesses that are everywhere. Every town has 7 Nando's. Milton Keynes literally has 5 or 6 Nando's, and then Wagamama's and all these big competition, all these big names. They sort of they've grown and they take so much of the market, and then they're not really, they get to a point where there's so many customers because it's been for so long and there's such a developed culture and industry in our country that at some point they're not competing to get new customers. So in Ukraine, and this is the thing I noticed, and you were saying it's all of them, all these little cafes, all these little restaurants, they're not in a luxury position where they just have people rolling through the front door. So they have to make it attractive for people to come. So they're in this era. And you haven't had all these big, you haven't had Nando's come in, and maybe you've had a few of them.
Yeah, we don't have chains. Yeah. We have only Ukrainian chains, some, but it's comparing to the UK,
And what the chains do is they tend to win on efficiency. So once you've got the big amount of people that want to come in, Nando's will be able to offer you quicker food that's cheaper. And then so people go, do I want to go to the local one that's going to take 2 hours, or maybe tonight we'll just get Nando's. So you don't have that force. So you kind of have this nice market where they're able to get rewarded for putting in more effort.
Yeah.
It's a growing market. Yeah, ours is not growing. And so then I think that comes to why our standards drop a bit.
Yeah, and also I believe that British standards dropped on the moment that you need to spend more money to operate the business because Ukrainian taxes are lower and all of the workforce is lower. What else? Rent is lower. That's why they probably British businesses try to cut the cost of everything, and
it's why the big chains win, because they can afford to, if the price of the rent is so high or something, then if you wanted to make a restaurant, it's like your life savings you'd have to put into it. And you would have to risk your life to basically open a small restaurant and take a risk. So most people in this country were just going to go, is it worth it? Whereas maybe, and I don't know the ins and outs, but maybe in Ukraine, you're a bit more like, we can give it a go. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it's not going to be the end of my life or something. I don't know. So I think that's a big one, because then it gives you, the better people who are passionate, an opportunity to actually compete. Whereas that is true. Not to say, and this is the thing, we're not trying to say realistically that Britain's cuisine is terrible. We do have lots of good pockets.
What I wanted to say that then we started to go to London more, because we don't live in London, and I opened lots of independent coffee shops, independent cafés.
You were in desperate need for good coffee.
One day, the coffee story, the whole story. So I just wanted to say that I found lots of good restaurants with British cuisine, like European cuisine, traditional cuisines. There are lots of cool restaurants. That's also another topic. And like lots of good cafes, independent coffee shops in London. You just need to look for them. And especially if you want to get a good coffee, don't Google coffee in this region. Google independent coffee shop, because in Ukraine,
a life hack.
Because in Ukraine, specialty coffee. Because I also explained that in Ukraine, every coffee shop is we have maybe one or two chains, but all of other coffee, there's specialty coffee. In here, lots of chains, lots of just honestly shit coffees. Maybe these coffee shops just, I don't know, they don't care, and people don't have enough taste for good coffee.
Vlada revolutionized my coffee life. That was like when she first came to England, I was like, she was like, I really love coffee, and I was like, oh cool, I'll take you to Costa Coffee. And you were like, oh, okay, because you didn't know. And I took you there, and you're like, this is really bad. You didn't say it like that. You were much more polite. You go, I'll just get a hot chocolate. But then we went to so after that I got the hint. I was like, okay, she doesn't like Costa, maybe she'll like Starbucks. And I went, Starbucks, terrible, didn't like it. Then I was like, surely she should like Pret a Manger or Cafe Nero.
Sorry for interrupting, one girl messaged me when I posted a story about coffee experience in here. She said me, when I first tried Starbucks, I cried. I was like, because you can cry from happiness, I just decided to ask, from happiness, or you were so sad. She was like, I was sad to spend £7 or
on burnt fucking coffee beans. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Vlada wakes up one morning and she goes, Kieren, I found it.
I was so desperate because in Ukraine, I was addict in Ukraine. I had 3-4 lattes a day. I was this marketing girl who is like, girl, you're drinking coffee all the time. It's like my latte. Like I lived on the apples and latte. So for you to understand, I didn't cook for myself. I loved cooking, but I cooked for my
just
brands.
Apples and latte.
Yeah, I eat on...
and salads. That's
from Salaterra. I love this chain.
Yeah, I liked it. We don't even have, that's another thing, we don't have really anywhere like that. Healthy fast food doesn't exist.
Yeah, maybe one, and it's huge queue to eat.
Yeah, we saw one in London and it was massive queue. So you woke up one morning, you were like, Kieren, I remember it was quite a serious tone.
I woke up at 6, desperately wanted good coffee, because before I had 4 cups of coffee a day, and now a couple of weeks passed.
At the time, I wasn't really into coffee, so I didn't understand, but now I get it. If I hadn't had a good coffee in a month, I'd be in the same boat as you. So you woke up, you go, Kieren.
Yeah, Kieren, I found a decent coffee shop, really, because I looked through all of pictures, and you really can define by how coffee looks.
Just how hipster it is.
Yeah.
It's just hipster signs.
The foam is pretty sick, the latte art is
classic.
good. And
wooden, if it has anything wooden board in the back, and it has just
natural materials, glass, cement.
Yeah, and the front has to have that font where it's a really low, not big, not bright, just minimalist. It'll be Japanese coffee house or something like that.
Yeah. That's a sign.
Yeah. But it was interesting. Then that got me into coffee, and then I've developed the taste from Vlada. So that's a massive. And now I'm quite addicted. I bought my own coffee machine and stuff. So Vlada's put me onto good coffee, good food, lots of stuff.
Yeah.
And I thank you for it.
Thank you. And today we have celebration cake.
My birthday cake.
Yeah,
it's delicious.
It's called Kudrявый pincher.
Yeah, Tak.
Yeah, how do you rate this cake?
I'll do a little bite, a live bite.
Тобі подобається.
Дуже подобається.
Дуже подобається.
Very good. Yeah, that was my birthday cake.
Yeah, it's my childhood cake. It's so moist and so chocolatey. It's so amazing. I left the recipe of this cake on my Patreon. I'm sorry for promoting just it straightforward from the beginning.
Гривня the font.
So next thing I wanted to discuss, that's like restaurants, if we're moving to restaurants. In here, there are lots of immigrants, and luckily they open the restaurants with their national cuisine. And it's so good.
Yeah.
We don't have immigrants in Ukraine. It's like very low percentage of immigrants, and most of them they are studying in Ukraine to get the good education for cheap. So they don't open restaurants. Like it's a very low amount of.
So they don't tend to stay in Ukraine. Like they don't make a life there.
Yeah. So in here there are lots of national cuisine restaurants. So I tried like good Indian food, good I don't know, Thai food, good Chinese
Jamaican,
food.
yeah,
Jamaican. Oh, I
that's
discovered.
That's a cuisine you'd never had.
Never had. I discovered Jamaican cuisine. It's so good. It's so fulfilling. It's so warm and so cozy. That's this cozy comfort.
It was so
food.
nice. When we go to London, we tend to like go to a cool restaurant, but we just found this one on the way back because we were trying to film. It was when you had the big croissant, that video. And then you were trying to film it, and we were just out front of this Jamaican place. The Jamaican guy comes out and he's like, "What's this big croissant you're holding?" And then we looked at the food.
It was a bun.
Yeah, it was a big bun. Yeah, that was it. Bun. Yeah. And then so we went in and we just got like it was like a steamed dumpling. You had a soup. It was super nice. Nice.
Yeah, super.
And then I can't remember what I had, but it was so good. And that's the thing, like you have these two standards I noticed, is either beautiful, like hipster, all the sort of things we were saying about the design, or it's just like some sort of, maybe it's an Indian, or maybe it's like maybe it's Jamaican or something, and it won't look that amazing. It'll just be like quite average looking, but the food will be the best food you've ever had.
Yeah. So national food, like different nations' food, is on a very, very high standard in here because people probably cook it like there are lots of like family running businesses. We've been to the Georgian restaurant, and it was the best Georgian food I ever tried in my life. And it's run by the family. So grandma did all of these recipes, daughter keep going, and her daughter like also is working in the same restaurant, so it was very, very good. What about British cuisine?
Go on, give your opinion, because Vlada, before coming to England, Vlada would literally have never had English cuisine. Like,
because it's unpopular.
Yeah, it's super unpopular.
It's unpopular.
Yeah.
Make you popular.
We managed to take over the whole world, and we gave everyone our language. We forced everyone to speak our language. We did all this stuff, but none of them took the food. They were like, "Yeah, you can keep the fish and chips." Like, and I want you to hear Vlada's opinion, because originally I think you were perhaps skeptical to it.
I was very skeptical because this food looks not very light, very fulfilling and heavy on the stomach.
You're saying it looks fulfilling. Yeah,
it looks very fulfilling, and Kieren explained me why, and I love his explanations. There are lots of stuff that I like and lots of stuff I still don't understand. So my favorite...
That's Vlada's polite way of saying I don't like. I don't understand. It's so
I am turning into Britain.
Yeah, for sure.
So what I like, their desserts. I was also, when we came to different bakeries and all of the stuff, all desserts are quite stodgy, and all of them are like something like brownie, something similar.
Yeah, we like a pudding that will make you tired after you eat it. We like
pudding.
to eat.
Don't say pudding to Ukrainians. They picture this jelly, creamy jelly stuff that's pudding
it's the opposite of creamy jelly. It's like thick, stodgy, like sticky toffee pudding's a classic one. This thick, heavy, gooey,
and it's ton of sugar inside and ton
butter.
of cream and butter. So I was like, oh my God. I was so surprised. There were macaroons, pavlova.
We like some of that stuff.
And all of the stuff, but it was quite unpopular. If you come into a typical typical coffee shop, all the bakery they offer, they mainly this and like a couple of croissants.
That's true, mainly like brownies and cookies. We were a bit Americanized, unfortunately. But brownies and cookies, donuts to a degree. Like we like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but donuts special place for donuts. Like we offer mainly we love souffle desserts.
Yeah, you love light creamy layers. You love lots of layers.
So it will be like these cakes, but lots of
jelly
them.
Stuff.
Jelly stuff, also like macaroons and different sort of croissants with different fillings inside. So this light dessert, but I started to like it. I like Bakewell tart.
You do.
So I would not eat it every single day, but I like it. Like I said, Bakewell tart, sticky toffee pudding is quite good, but it's like billions of calories, so you're slightly scared.
Yeah, you can have one a month. Yeah, and then you can't eat anything else.
Yeah. I love cookies. I've never experienced cookies.
Do you?
Yeah, like good cookie, yeah.
Which one?
I love pistachio one. It's probably not very classical.
Oh, well, you had it down at Canal Street.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was quite gooey and
yeah,
cool.
That's a good cookie. It's like a gooey, chewy cookie.
Yeah, Ukrainians probably they overbake cookies.
I think,
never tried
this is a thing that
Ukraine.
happens, right? Is a lot of the foods we like here, other countries don't do it well.
Yeah,
so like the British fry up breakfast. I've been to Thailand and they gave me a Frankfurt hot dog instead of like sausages, which might not even be that funny to you guys because you guys also eat that kind of sausage. You like doctor's sausage.
Yeah, that's how I style.
But to us, that's like that's a hot dog.
Yeah, sausage. That's another conversation. To be honest, I made a video how Eastern European people picture sausages and how we call it homemade sausage, домашняя ковбаса. That's what is similar to your sausage with bits of like I don't know, pork or any other meat bits of salo.
It's less processed. It's like you can taste individual bits of the pork rather than like it's this firm solid thing.
Yeah. I'm absolutely in love with Sunday roast.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, but also it's like quite heavy and you all fried in all this dark fat and everything. But in general, the idea is cool. Lots of veggies baked and everything. So like,
and you liked fish and chips. You've had nice. I've seen you like fish and chips.
It's like I don't know.
You've had nice ones where you're like, that was alright.
That was alright.
That's a big compliment for a Brit.
That's a big compliment for me. I love pork pies. That's what I love. It's like so fatty.
You also
so
quite
jelly.
liked, we had that steak and ale pie.
Or steak and ale pie. So pies are good. If you never watched Sweeney Todd and, and go to eat pies.
Yeah. What else? I'm trying to think of other things that you particularly like from Brits. Bangers and mash. You quite like that.
Yeah,
it's
we have
sausage,
similar, we love mash as well in Ukraine and we eat it. So tell me why British cuisine is so heavy, fulfilling and everything.
There's a few different, is there a specific one that you want me to say? Because there's
traditional, the idea, why? You told me about the weather, like because... If you are coming after working day.
Oh yeah.
Explain, people.
Okay, yeah, sure. So like England is not a joke. Like when people say British people only talk about the weather, that's not a joke, is it? We always talk about it. And Vlada has found herself beginning to only talk about the weather. It's like part of being British. And the reason being is because our weather is genuinely awful, and like in winter particularly. So you guys, if you're Ukrainian or whatever, your climate is more dry. So like when it's cold in the winter, it's cold, but it doesn't like get to your bones. Like ours is like a bone chilling cold. And so for us, like if you've been out working all day, what we love is like the cozy, warm, heavy food. So you've come in from a long day of work and you want a big plate of goo that's just warm, hot and hearty, and you eat the goo and then you lay on the sofa. Well, you probably wouldn't have had a sofa back in the days. You lay in your pile of hay and then just go to sleep. And like, so a lot of our food is built around that kind of premise. Is like you want it to fulfill you and make you feel comfortable and relaxed, because British weather is always out to get you. And then like there's the other one, which is we have pasties. You like those as well? Cornish pasty. You love Cornish pasties.
I'm absolutely obsessed with it. Is it baked vareniki?
Yeah, I was gonna say Britanski vareniki.
So basically,
Oven baked vareniki.
When I made vareniki and posted it on my TikTok, some British guy messaged me, is it boiled Cornish pasty? And
It's about varenikis. That's so funny.
Yeah,
that's so British.
I remade this joke
Is that
too.
a Cornish pasty? So Gaz is flick through. That's a fucking Cornish pasty, there. It looks raw. She ain't cooked it.
It's very good. I really love Cornish pasty because the dough is like very thin and it's crunchy, crispy.
If it's done well.
Yeah, and inside all of this very good filling.
Yeah, like we have like the traditional one is beef and potatoes. I think that's like the classic, and like maybe some peas or something. But now they get fancy with it. They put like cheese, and I had like a chorizo one. Like they do all these weird things now, but the classic is
cauliflower.
Cauliflower. That was really nice, and it was like a curried cauliflower, so it was like an Indian-y. It was super nice. But yeah, that kind of thing as well. It's got an interesting story that we would take these when like Britain was very industrial and we had a lot of mining communities. I think that was where that dish originated, because the wife would bake these things because you could do a load of them and they could probably store quite well, give it to the husband, and he would go work in the mines all day and put it in his pocket and just pull it out of his pocket, wipe the fucking coal off of it and then just eat it. And it was like, because it kept well, but it's become this like really nice one. There's a thing called the Bedfordshire clanger, which is from the county we're basically near, and that has half of it has jam in it, like sweet compote kind of thing. It's not compote. Do you call it jam?
What we call jam, you call compote.
Okay. And so like that would be half of it was jam and half it was meat. So you'd eat your meat, that was like your main, and then you'd have your dessert at the other end.
I dream to try this.
I've actually never had it. I don't even know if... I'm sure there's places that make it, but I've never...
Also, what I love, the tradition of English tea.
Yes.
The whole of this setting and this sandwiches.
English cuisine gets absolutely a bad rap.
Also, it's like we know the concept of English tea, but in Ukraine, no one explains you that the afternoon tea, that's the whole like ceremony, the culture. So the main event is not... tea. That's all of these cakes.
They come out in the layers. So you have like a 3-layered thing. Usually it's like something where someone's bought you like an experience day. It's like Christmas. They've ran out of ideas of what to get you. So they bought you like an afternoon tea experience. And then you go, you and your family head down. You'd wear your best clothes and then you head down to like a manor house. So we went to one in Luton Hoo, which is beautiful.
Incredible.
It's the one nice place in Luton. And we went there and it's like...
this bird.
Yeah, there was like in the manor, those kind of like aristocrat films, and they always have like a weird bird in the garden. They had that there. And so we went there and it was like, really bougie, like small table. It felt like you were in the dining room of like a king or something.
Bridgerton's.
Yeah, literally. And so this is a thing you can do in Britain, which is like classic thing people do. So that stuff's all nice. And people, I don't know if people like
scones.
Get that we do all that.
I really love scones. Yeah. And every time I shock people who come to visit me and my amazing husband with scones. So it looks like the least attractive thing to try. It looks just a piece of dough, like dry, not very tasty. And then, bam! You cut it. Put your...
I love your passion about scones.
And then put a jam on the top. I don't do the sandwich. I put ton of this cream and jam.
I do the sandwich. It's not classic. And there's like a whole cultural tradition around if you're from Devon or Cornwall, which one goes first, the cream or the jam. Yeah. I don't know which is which. But I always do... I do jam first. I think I do jam.
I don't know how you can do jam first. It's so insane. Then all of your cream is dirty with all this jam. So first cream and then jam on the top.
Viola loves it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, scones are... A lot of our food, it can be good or bad. You can go somewhere and get a bad one.
5 trillions of billions of calories.
Oh, yeah.
But it's very tasty and it's a whole culture and you enjoy like ritual.
Experience. Yeah. Well, that's what I like about it. It's such a shame that people don't... There's just the meme is that British food sucks. And it's like, our food doesn't suck. It can suck. It's unhealthy.
it doesn't stand up
I think that's
among
the problem.
all of the foods that is like easy to make, easy to understand, easy to eat, and light.
Yeah, because I think even like, you know, bangers and mash, it's not unique enough. Like Germans, if you're going to have bangers and mash, you're thinking of like the Germans. They do the like cool sausages and they'll have like potato salad. I think they have. It's like potato salad and sausages. Yeah. So like, every one of our dishes, it seems to be someone else offers like a more unique version of it. Yeah. But like steak and ale pie, no one else does pies.
Yeah.
So we should be selling our pies more.
Yeah, selling pies.
But then I think it really is the climate.
It's very hard to make probably proper British pie, and no one will choose it among well-known pizzas or something. Probably one day Kirilo will come to Ukraine and open British restaurant.
That's my dream.
Maybe I won't even help you.
Oh, yeah.
So next point I wanted to discuss. We're really like doing very well.
Thank you.
I wanted to discuss supermarkets, and I wanted to discuss home-made food. What do you fancy first?
Do supermarkets.
So supermarkets. So I find British supermarkets much better than Ukrainians in regard of food.
Okay, I was going to say, I thought you hated it. I hated Tesco.
Yeah, but what is good in British supermarkets? They're absolutely huge, but you can find anything. You want to make sushi, you find everything for sushi. You want to make Indian food, you find everything for Indian food. In Ukrainian supermarkets, never.
You go like specialists.
Yeah, specialists, and they exist only in Kyiv or in big cities. Mm-hmm. So it's impossible to make different, but probably because you have so many immigrants, you need to offer them something. Only one thing I was deeply offended by. So buckwheat was in Indian section. I don't know what Indians do with buckwheat, but my soul, it was a knife in my heart, my buckwheat.
What do they use it for?
I have no idea.
They have like dal.
I believe how it was. Some burry was like, something like, I don't know, quinoa.
Yeah, it looks a bit foreign. We'll stick it with the Indian stuff. Probably. I don't know. I think they use it for like dal or something. Like dal is like that. It's like red, and you dip your whatever it's called.
No. It doesn't have any odds.
I don't know. I'll show you after what dal is, and you can tell me if it's buckwheat.
So in this regard, British supermarkets are cool.
Yeah,
design is very awful.
Yeah, I was going to say design
is so bad. And we have like famous chain Silpo. We visited this one.
I went to,
and they are competing.
They're nice.
They're making team supermarkets. Like it will be supermarkets like an
themed,
ocean. Yeah. It will be supermarkets like, I don't know, cats. It will be like, and they put so much effort.
That supermarket's sick. This is the thing I've noticed with Ukraine. It's another one, is that you generally are the beauty that your country was kind of made official in the 90s is that all your industries are young, so you have a lot of young blood and young ideas. So the idea of making a cat themed supermarket in Britain, all of our supermarket CEOs or like the main managers are going to be probably 50 years old. So like trying to pitch them some radical idea is very hard.
But for me,
your younger market means you're more willing to try these sort of creative things.
Yeah. Every time I'm thinking that British people are doing like CEOs or some other top managers, they are very busy with other stuff like paying taxes or any other stuff. But I think they are lazy bastards. Sitting and we'll change nothing, just open a supermarket. It will be like a box. And just put all our stuff in it. No creation, no passion to the job you are doing. We are doing it like for sure for money, but also we have a pride in what we are doing. Like
Vlada's favourite thing, like when she gets annoyed at a business in Britain doing like bad practices or being cheap or something, you always say like they have no shame or so, like
they have no pride.
I have no pride.
They have no pride. I'm very sorry for this statement. Now people start to kick me
no, it's
or
true.
I don't know.
It's true. I'll say it. They don't
some
have any pride.
Eggs and tomatoes and
this is what I try and like. This is what I explain to Vlada is that our businesses, it's only fundamentally about money. And I know I sound like just a commie when I say that, but they don't have like values beyond profit margins, and like the layers of management are so disconnected where the owner of the business, he's long dead and it's sold off to some American private equity firm, that's probably dealing with pensions. So there's no like one guy or one woman who really gives a fuck about it being amazing. It's just, they're just trying to make money. So everything comes down to like, do you want to make this cool cat themed one? It's like, well, what's the economic incentive to do it?
Yeah.
Are you going to get 5 more customers? No, probably not. Oh, fuck it. So there's no like doing stuff for like the love of it. And I get that impression a lot with Ukrainians. And I'm pretty honest. I reckon over time your market will look more like ours.
Yeah, probably.
But I see it a lot where Ukrainians, like, they'll do things that might not make returns on money straight away, but they do it for the love of it.
Like 90% of efforts we are putting always, we are so like fucking caring about everything. Every mom is caring to fill the table. There should not be any spot without the plate on it with some food. So we are so over caring about everything.
But that's because your culture is so strong now and it hasn't been corrupted by the ideas of only making profit. Ours probably was something like this long time ago, but now it's great if a lot of people do it like that, but if just one person decides to be a bit more ruthless and about making money and cost cutting and stuff like that, you'll notice that they will get ahead. So like the person who's more ruthless at making money, they will start winning, and all the other businesses go, well, that thing really worked for them and they made a lot of money. So then they'll go, well, let's put less effort in here, let's cut costs here, cut costs.
Yeah.
And then over time, that beautiful like thing of creating cool businesses over time just gets killed off by like really radical capitalists. Like, it does happen. So I reckon it will happen to Ukraine. That'd be my guess.
Yeah, like I'm shocked with this capitalism. So our business owners, they visit some podcast interviews. So they're
cool.
still so related to their business. They still represent their business.
But you wait till they sell it to an American firm. That's the thing. So they care about it now.
I wish they never sell it.
It will happen.
But probably, I believe that this business is not so profitable. I worked for lots of businesses that were not profitable, but they tried. But you need sometimes like this house Stanley Cup, or I heard the story, I'm not sure about it, but I heard that for 100 years they had these cups and they blew
Why
up.
Why didn't they give up? 100 years. They were just, I really believe in this cup. It gives a fuck.
I believe they were doing okay, but then they blew up.
Imagine that's what you spent 100 years trying to push. One day,
it would be me
with
my aprons.
Yeah. Vlada wants to make aprons, so they'll be cool as fuck.
And
so
lots of
message
stuff.
her and say you want.
No, don't tell the secret because someone will steal my idea.
Vlada doesn't want to do anything.
So basically, because of our businesses, we even used to the thing that probably they don't profit of it. They're putting so much effort. I remember one day, around Easter, I opened my Instagram and every business I'm following, and I'm following lots of food businesses, all of them launched new products, baskets, new pastas. And I heard an interview that one business, one restaurant chain, smaller chain, 3 restaurants or 4 restaurants, they said, we don't make any profits on pastas. Also, in order to create these pastas, they invent the recipe, bought huge machines to mix it because all employed people, advertised it a lot, film it, spent so much money and effort, and absolutely no profit on this product. So our businesses, I believe there are businesses who make lots of money and there are lots of businesses who don't make money, but they do some cool thing that you're like, oh, we're so cool, we're so sick. That's why you feel you belong to this culture. You're like, oh, that's I am doing this pasta.
And you feel like this
culture.
Is the thing I feel in England is that you feel this country is hostile toward you, where it's like our washing machine has a problem, and the problem is because of the way they designed the washing machine. But I know, so they're not going to just fix it for free, which they should because it's their design fault. They have deliberately designed it bad so it breaks, so that I have to pay for someone to come out from them to repair it. And that's how they think about businesses. So you always feel a negativity.
Scammed.
Yeah, you always feel scammed. You always feel negativity towards businesses because it always feels that they're just trying to profit from you. Whereas I can imagine you're feeling, if you go into something like that and they've put effort in and it doesn't even make them money, you have a respect for that because you kind of feel like, they're actually providing something more than just taking from the world.
Yeah. We have lots of problems in our businesses. I don't know. I want to imbalance and then to say we have
I'm sure.
Awful roads. This
Yeah.
I've never seen in my life in any country in the world such awful bad roads. Yeah. But let's.
Yeah, Ukraine is not like a paradise. It's just like it has some it has some very cool things and. Stuff that I appreciate about it.
Yeah, I just used to this stuff. That's why I'm telling. That's why I came to England with huge expectations, thinking that that's paradise because this country is advertised like some paradise. And I was so surprised by some stuff
Reality
and so
shock.
pleased by some stuff and so shocked. Yeah. And I didn't understand.
But that's the thing, like all the films, they always want to paint Britain like it's Bridgerton. And it's like, in reality, I was going to reference another TV show, but you won't know what it is. But it's like, we are 1%, literally, well, yeah, it would be. 1% of Britain is that. The rest of it is not that. And we have nice stuff. Like, we're not trying to paint some awful image. Britain is cool and it has some really cool stuff, but it's just in amongst a lot of crappy stuff. And it just, to me, it feels very hostile. So I can be proud and I love parts of Britain and our culture. But I think when you're sold this image as you were, that Britain is this like, everything looks like Hogwarts.
Just because it's also other nations' problem, because we don't take shows like people just do nothing or something. Because we don't understand that Britain can be like this. And we're so far from understanding that this exists as well.
Our cultural exports are
that
always...
we would not take it,
Yeah, our cultural exports are always the coolest and most like polished stuff of Britain. But like for us, in Britain, the most popular stuff is usually the most down to earth, usually the most like raw and things that show like, you know, maybe crime and gang culture or like poverty.
We have some gang culture as well.
Yeah. But we like...
But at least they should wear some trenches and cool hats.
Okay, yeah. Like Peaky Blinders. Yeah.
So,
but even that's another example, right? So like for us, Peaky Blinders is amazing and we love that show. But Peaky Blinders is the most polished and cool and like presentable form of gang culture. And that happens to be one that sells. So it still even sells this romanticized view of Britain. But the reality, like we have a show called Top Boy, that's way more real. It's popular in America a little bit, but that's way more real. But that's not going to be the one that everyone in the world knows about. They'll know about Peaky Blinders.
Yeah. So we have one more. We'll discuss it all on next podcast. But we have one more topic about home cuisine, what your mom cook. Like not particularly your mom, but maybe you experience some food in other moms' homes.
My mom's cooking is like utilitarian, I would say. So she can, when she wants to, do something nice. But she was, you know, a
like
busy
every
mom. Yeah, busy mom, tough life. She would like...
No attention to Brew.
Oh, poor Brew.
She said, my mom is also utilitarian. Nothing cooked for me. Only some dry food.
My dad would also cook. My dad would cook. My dad's thing was he would mainly do dinners on Friday. So he would do like Friday and he would do Sunday. So Friday was always exciting because it was like... Friday was easy food. Dad would do like gammon and chips. Broom, what you got to say?
You got to say, my mom never cooks for me.
Yeah, only
she
dry food.
She always puts some dry food. No.
Oh, Brew. You always want attention. Why not now? But yeah, like, my mum would do all right stuff, but like, it would be...
She decided to show her little shopka.
So my mum would do cool stuff, but it was always like on a schedule. So it'd be like, I would be excited for certain dishes and not others. So lasagna, I was always excited for lasagna. Pizza night, I was always excited, but that was probably going to be an oven pizza, probably. Actually, no, I think she used to buy the base. Yeah, then put the stuff on it. What else? It'd be stuff like sausages and mashed. These were nice. The ones I didn't like was quiche. Quiche was not good. I hate that. Cottage pie, which is like a mashed potato on top of a minced meat. Don't know why. It just was never nice. Oh, I know why. Because my dad didn't eat fucking butter or cream. So my mum could never... And I only discovered this as I got older. All the nice ingredients, butters and creams and that make the food good, my mum never could use because my dad just...
Ukrainian food contains 99% of sour cream.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And so, our home cooking was pretty... There wasn't anything specifically like traditional about it. But mum would do like pie and chips occasionally and stuff like that. Roast dinner, my dad would do the roast dinner. So that was traditional and he would do a very good job at that. So, but again, he wouldn't use butters and stuff. So, but yeah, so we had some nice stuff, but it probably wasn't quite the level that you guys had growing up, I don't think.
Probably also because we didn't have all of this half. Oh, I want to add to supermarket section. I want to add that in British supermarkets, in British supermarkets you face lots of half-cooked products. How you call them?
Like ready meals.
Or
like it might not
half-cooked, like to bake in the oven
and
that's
frozen
ready.
Foods.
No, that's not frozen. It's like just cold. Like these ribs we bought.
Yeah, okay. It's kind of a ready meal, but yeah, I get what you're saying,
Yeah.
So like slow cooked ribs, they would already been half cooked.
Yeah, lots of basically food that is marinated in all sauces. You need just to bake it or to fry it or something. So I would say it seems like very pretty attractive idea, and it's always not so expensive to buy. But these sauces, I cannot prove it myself like a person because I didn't check every sauce or everything, but I was quite suspicious about this food. And then I followed one nutriologist who was explaining about the food, and if the second product in your oven baked ribs is sugar, you kind of can be suspicious about it. So it's unhealthy. Much healthier is to cook it yourself and know what do you put in it, and lots of them
all
are
our food
crap.
is like fast. It's not necessarily awful, but it's like just chuck it in the oven. That's a lot of British attitude. It's something you just chuck in the oven. You're lazy, tired.
That's okay. But if you want, I don't know, to lose a weight or to have clean food,
good. It's not good for us. It's bad. It's definitely a bad thing. And like it's because we're a busy country. We work. I don't know, excuses and that. But like it just seems to be we've made a culture of like quick, fast, and on the go. And chuck it in the oven, put it in the microwave.
Yeah, I understand it completely, but for me, like a human, if we are fighting now to appreciate yourself, to do a spa, to go dancing and everything, and put this crap in your body, I am sorry you'll die faster. You work like a horse and you'll die fast. Probably I will die faster just because of, I don't know, genetic stress and everything. But
our like healthy people are the gym bros, and they will just eat rice and chicken. Because they don't want to put effort into cooking, but they'll just eat rice and chicken.
Yeah. So about... I think
I'm going to have to...
I want to say statements about Ukrainian moms cooking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Ukrainians' home food. So basically just also the problem we didn't have restaurants and restaurant culture and cafes for a very long time. Our moms always cooked us a lot. Most of this food, it's like simple dishes, but borscht, lots of soups. Our babusas and our mamas deeply believed that borscht or any soup is a healing product. Like you eat soup. But honestly, for lots of digestive problems, it's just easier to digest. The problem I'm absolutely intolerant to any spiced food. I'm so struggling not eating my soups and everything. My pancreas cannot handle it. So it's very good that we have this pure food. Also, we have lots of dishes with dough, like vareniki and similar stuff, like lots of breads, lots of creams. What I would say that I experienced it myself, maybe because I'm country girl. Like I was born in a small town in Ukraine, and I picked cherries, and I didn't I was not in farming, but I saw my granny grow little pigs, mini pigs, and big pigs.
And nutries.
Nutries, yeah. I ate pork ear, just fresh, just cutting from the pork, and pork tail. It's so tasty. It's so tasty.
This is my wife. You would never expect. Vlada was eating a pork tail. Fucking horilka.
No horilka. We have samohon. That's horilka that made my babusa call it rukopis, like handwritten.
Okay.
That's what horilka you made yourself.
Nice, blinds you up.
Yeah. But I feel like I'm a little bit, maybe because you are not a country boy or farm boy, and our Ukrainians have lots of them. Country people have little farms, but it's not little farms, but they have quite a sustainable life. Yeah. So they grow
subsistence farms. They look after them. Nice.
Not because of luxury, because of poverty. I'm not joking.
Yeah,
that's not a joke, because they cannot afford to buy products, so they grow them themselves.
Mama, your parents do that. That's basically how your parents.
My parents do it. My parents grow lots of stuff.
Their stuff looks so nice. We've had a bit of it. Anyway, let's tie this together.
So I understand how products are made a little bit more than you understand.
Yeah.
I understand what is kefir, how cream is made, why
you also know about like seasonal foods.
Seasonal, what is the season of cherries and why it's better to eat cherries in certain months. What is the season of I don't know. When is the season of tomatoes or any other food when they are fresh and they contain much more nutrients because basically naturally they grow, but also because our country is seasonal. Your country, probably all of the farms are
GMO.
Maybe not GMO, but all are handmade. So our are natural made. So we start our season when Mother Nature says us.
Yeah, it's time.
It's time.
Yeah.
So probably that's why I felt like I understand more. And all of this stuff, it makes me laugh so much when I see foreign websites and they call buckwheat superfood or beetroot superfood.
And it's just something your babuza was.
Yeah, the cheapest product in Ukraine.
Yeah, kombucha is another one.
Kombucha, we call it tea mushroom, Chinese rib.
And like that was some old gross shit.
Yeah.
Over here, cost me £7 a
your babusa always had this mushroom on her window and always had kefir that's gone off milk that was staying on her window. And like now we romanticize it all, but when we were kids, obviously we wanted some McDonald's, but McDonald's was in a big city in your shit town. You never had any McDonald's or anything around it, so you was waiting desperately when your parents decided to do a market day to buy you a school uniform or I don't know, seasonal clothes, and you get your McDonald's. Yeah. So now I appreciate, obviously, all of we have much more, and probably because of the reason I'm far from my country and I want to feel cozy like everyone. So, sorry if I spoke too much. Did I speak so much?
No, everyone loves hearing Vladu.
Cool. I have so many thoughts about it. Hopefully you enjoyed it a lot. If you want to ask us something, we will happily respond. And thank you so much for listening to it. If you have some topics to offer us, also comment this video and in general support us. Thank you so much.
Well done, Vlad. You smashed it.
You smashed it.
Smash hit.
Thank you so much. Best hobby.
All right, badminton time. That was fun.